Welcome back to Ratchet and Clank Future, a crack in time. We've started, Silver.
Yay!
How very endorsement of you to give that canned yay sound effect.
That's not candy, yay. By the way, so you're familiar with Threads, right? Don't get it. By the way,
Yeah.
not good Threads.
I've kind of picked up on the don't get threads thing.
Oh no, it gets worse than you thought because you know how it connects with your Instagram and your Facebook.
Uh,
It
who would be
will.
foolish enough to do that? But okay.
Well, it does it automatically.
Oh,
Based
seriously?
on yeah. And the reason why is like, oh, get all your followers, they transfer to Threads. Turns out that regardless of what your username is, Threads will automatically change to your actual name.
Mmm.
You know, if you just want to dox yourself in front of all your Instagram followers, uh, and that's really bad for uh, people that uh, don't want their Facebook friends to see their Instagram, or the people that want to keep their private life and their digital life separate.
Fair enough. Ooh. Health upgrade.
I am glad that I do not have a Facebook or an Instagram.
I don't have an Instagram. I have a Facebook because it was the hip thing to do.
Oh, I deleted my Facebook back in like 2012.
Oh god, you can do that?
You used to be able to. I don't know now. Like I said, I haven't had Facebook since 2012.
Fair enough. I would not be surprised if the Zuck has made it impossible to leave.
I think that's part of what the I think that's what part of his hearing on the to the Senate was about, was because like he retained after a point he was retaining people's information even if they deleted their account.
That's not good.
On this. So where are we? We're on the Mario Galaxy planet.
Yeah, so we're doing a few challenge planets simply because you gotta have a few done. Or a little bit of a necessity.
Yeah.
But we won't be long because most of this is just for some Zonai collecting. Zoni.
Yeah, not the Zonai. The Zonai are funky little goat people.
Yeah, the Zonai are rip-offs of the Zoni from Ratchet and Clank.
The Zonai are clearly boss monsters from Undertale.
So this is what they meant when they said that Toby Fox was involved.
Sans Undertale is obviously Link. But that's just a theory. A gay theory.
Goodness.
Thanks for watching.
So recently, I was at my job when, like, a dad and his son came by and they were clearly arguing, and the son's like, "You just don't get it. He's a genius." And I'm like, "Oh, who are you talking about?" And the kid's like, "It's not important." The dad's like, "Oh, he might know. He seems knowledgeable." And he turns to me and says, "Do you know who Matt Pat is?"
Oh, God. Please tell me you pointed out that his theories fall apart under any kind of scrutiny.
I pretty much said that his quality has dropped drastically over the years and that he only does like surface level theories at best.
That's a lot kinder than I would have been.
To be fair, the kids need their heroes, you know?
Well, I mean, I would have suggested other theorists that actually put in effort. You know, like Nintendo Black Crisis or
Never heard of him.
Masked Nintendo Bandit.
Never heard of him.
They primarily do Zelda theories, but
oh, that's why I never heard of them.
Yeah. But those are ones that have a decent chunk of uh, theories that are fairly solid.
I mean, if all you do is consume Zelda content, of course your Zelda theories are going to be better than somebody who only played like one game and thought he knew everything.
I saw an interpretation of I saw an interpretation of Majora's Mask that was a lot better than like, oh, it's the phase 5 stages of grief, and the interpretation was more about confronting trauma rather than the grieving process. And I think that's a lot better of an interpretation because in the end, it still concludes that Termina is a real place that Link actually went to and is not dead. God, I like Majora's Mask. I really want to try a single cycle run.
I'm sure you can pull it off.
I mean, I have to. In theory, I can. I know the game really well, but also it is very hard because, to put it in perspective, you've got to get the arrows, the bombs, uh, the you have to go all the way to the to the first dungeon, which means going through the Deku Palace and learning the song, and get the arrows, and you have to get the bombs. Um, you have to go all the way up to Snowhead, learn the Goron Lullaby, and grab the fire arrows, and then melt the powder keg merchant's place, and deliver the powder keg to the racetrack to pass the test, and so that you can buy powder kegs all before the first night.
There we go. Boom.
Because you need the powder keg to blow up the rock in front of Romano Ranch. And you gotta do that before the end of the first night because...
Check it out. I got timed bombs.
Fuck yeah.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
What does that do?
They're timed bombs. They're on a 3-second delay.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you said time bombs.
Gosh, that would be cool. But no, nothing like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so the reason why it's hard is because you gotta get the opponent's song before the night of the first day because you won't be able to otherwise. Also, you need to get pretty much all the stray fairies in order to have the stuff you need to actually fight Majora.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It is significantly harder than a perfect cycle.
So basically just beating the entire game in one run rather than,
Yeah, rather than resetting to... yeah.
The fact that that's possible is actually kind of terrifying.
Yeah, it is possible, and it's possible to do without glitches. And the only exploit needed is, you just need bombs to launch yourself a bit further for one chest, and that's the boss key in the, you need a damage boost up a ledge in order to get the boss key for, the water temple.
Okay, so check this out. What do I do here?
Barrel roll?
What did I get in the last episode?
Time bomb?
No.
I don't know.
I got the Thrustmaster!
Ah, nice.
Seriously, Silver, you gotta pay more attention to my thrusting.
It has been
and mastering.
week. You expect me to pay attention to your thrusting?
Maybe a little, you know. A little extra attention to my thrust master technique.
Well, maybe if we were a little better than thrusting, then I'd have reason to pay
Ha
attention.
ha ha.
Oh, what the fuck is this? Coruscant?
No, this is Terracnos. Home to the smartest aliens in the entire universe. The Terracnoids.
They look like the evolved humans from Mighty Max.
Never seen it.
Oh, it was an old show. Like, old show. There was one episode where there was this guy that was trying to turn lizards into dinosaurs. And then he ended up, they ended up reversing the evolution rate to make it, to forcefully evolve him into a, like, the next stage of humanity, which was this weird, small thing with a big head and, like, tentacle mouth thing. But the thing was, they were like, oh, well, he may have a big brain, but compared to how much he knew before, he's basically a child now, trapped in an adult's body, because he still has the intelligence of what he was at before, but it's, you know what I mean, like...
I get you. He sacrificed
Yeah.
his body for more brain power that he already had.
Well, what it was because his brain grew bigger, but that meant the knowledge that he had relative to the amount of brain he had got smaller in comparison. Like, he still had the same amount, it's just became a fraction of what he would be capable of. And so that's, they're like, oh, he's basically a child, and it's like, I'll see you in the future. Like, he's still an adult, and they, I don't know, it was weird. But I think he became like a reoccurring villain at some point.
All right, there
His
we go.
name was
Proximity bombs.
nice. His name was Professor Zygot.
Oh, that's just disgusting.
Yeah. God, Mighty Max was a weird show. Did it come out? I want to say it was like the 80s. When was it? Nope. The 90s. Early 90s. It ran for barely a year. No, it ran for 2 years.
There we go.
No.
I don't know if that counted.
No, it ran for like a year and a couple months.
I can't tell if that counted for me.
I don't know. It had 2 seasons.
Alright, well, I'll just continue onward.
Yeah. God. It was a weird show. Basically, this kid, Max, is like the mightiest in the universe. He's got to save the world from it was a monster of the week from the 90s.
Ah.
Yeah. He didn't have any, like, superpowers that I can remember. He was just a kid.
Sounds like kind of a lame show. I can see why it didn't last long.
Well, I don't remember. It's been a long time.
If you don't remember, then it probably wasn't all that good.
All I remember is that episode because I liked dinosaurs.
I mean, dinosaurs have their own benefit, to be fair.
Yeah. He had a pet lizard that was in his jacket when his jacket got hit with the laser, so his lizard became a dinosaur.
Permanently or temporarily?
Temporarily. They ended up reversing the evolution and shit.
You clearly don't sound very interested in Mighty Max, despite, like, talking about it.
Well, like I said, that's the only episode I actually remember the details of.
Fair enough.
It wasn't... It was canceled before I was even
When
born.
was it canceled?
It ran from 93 to 94.
Oh,
Yeah, 2 seasons.
two
It,
seasons.
it it lasted like a year and a couple months, according to Wikipedia.
Fair enough. You know it has lasted much longer. Ratchet and Clank.
You know what else lasted longer than 2 seasons?
Castlevania.
Inside Job. Oh wait, I'm sorry, that was cruel. Mighty Max had more episodes of Inside Job, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, but
40
one has
episodes.
more lasting impact.
Mighty Max probably still has its fans.
I can remember more than one episode of Mighty Max. What does that tell you?
It had a really. I liked its art style though. Well, looking at the pictures, because it's got like card shading.
So ask me
Richard Horvitz?
what are these guys? These arachnoid people. Ask me about them.
Is that Richard Horvitz?
Yes, it is.
I like Richard Horvitz.
Yeah, it's Richard Stephen Horvitz. So the
What is their deal?
arachnoids are the smartest aliens in the galaxy. They are based off of nerds from high school.
Oh man, Richard Horvitz is really good at playing uh, nerds.
Nerdy aliens specifically.
Yeah. Did you see the new episode of Hell of a Boss yet?
No, I don't watch Hell of a Boss.
You should. It's good. It's
We've
got
had
Richard
this
Horvitz in
conversation
it.
before. Why I don't.
I don't remember.
I don't feel like talking about it on stream.
That's fair.
Oh, what's the challenge here?
Oh, you're probably gonna have to throw a.
No, I just gotta time it.
I thought you had to throw a bomb.
No, I just gotta time it.
You know, you got a couple bombs recently.
I mean, yeah, but those are just additions to my weapon. I don't need them right now. I can just run.
Sorry for assuming that the game would present you with puzzles that involve the items you just got.
Yeah, that's just a weapon mod. It's not actually like a Zelda puzzle thing. Because if you want something that's a puzzle with something that I recently got, what about these hover boots? This entire level is hover boot themed.
I did forget about the hover boots, but also the last level had was because you had the hover boot race.
Yeah, but
You
there's
had the
more
soap
hover
shoes
booting.
race. Would you wear soap shoes?
I mean, probably. Why not?
Yeah.
Are they uncomfortable?
Not that I know of.
Then why would I not?
Exactly. You'd be like Sonic. Would your Sonic OC, would your Mobian Sona wear soap shoes?
No.
Fair.
He wears sandals and he floats everywhere because I am a hack who doesn't like drawing walking.
That's fair. Walking is for losers. You know, would be an interesting character. One
What?
who's got like ice skates and constantly spawns ice under them, so they like skate everywhere.
So you've been playing Bayonetta 1 again, huh?
No, but that is a thing in Bayonetta 1 that I really like.
Fair enough.
The games that I've been playing are Dark Souls and Elden Ring, and my god, I should not be playing both at the same time, I'm gonna be honest. They have very different controls and very different feels to them.
I
Uh,
have this. Where do I throw him?
I feel like there's less iframes.
Which one?
I feel like in Elden Ring there's less iframes.
Mmm.
And also Elden Ring being open world kind of makes scaling a bit difficult. With Dark Souls, there's never a point where I felt like I was underleveled for something. It was always like just at the right difficulty to be like very challenging, but without it feeling impossible, without giving the desire to like go back and grind. But with Elden Ring, I've been
Grinding very frequently.
no, not frequently. I've had only 2 bouts of grinding. Once was just to get the stats up to use this Viander, and the other was just to get the important stats all up to 20. You know, vitality, endurance, strength, and dex. Get those up to 20 to be able to do.
You've been
shit.
having issues in general with Elden Ring, haven't you?
There's stuff. Well, so the main thing I'm comparing it to is Dark Souls, because Dark Souls is like Dark Souls 1 is the one that is the FromSoft game.
I want to throw out
most
here that
frequently.
Silver has not found a single cave system yet.
I did find one, but there was a fog wall that it would not let me pass through.
Which is very odd, but... Have you fought the boss in that area yet? The Golden Knight?
Yeah, I told you I killed the big fuck off golden horse, dude.
Oh, okay, no, that counts as a boss, Silver.
Okay. Then I have killed the bosses I've killed. Okay, but there's a difference between like an actual boss and an overworld boss. Okay, that's a boss in the same sense that like the Hinox is a boss, or the Talus is a boss in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
I mean,
like,
they are obviously designed that way.
Yeah, but they're not. They're not on the same level as the actual bosses. Like,
in what way? Because they're recycled?
Well, there's a difference between like killing the fuck off golden horse and killing Godric the Grafted.
A
like
story difference?
Godric is a real proper boss.
Is it because he has extra phases?
Well, no, it's because he's got an arena dedicated to him.
And the other guy doesn't, because
he's just out in the open.
And oh, okay, so because he's out in the open world as an open world boss, he doesn't count.
Well, no, I said he's just not on the same level as the actual bosses. Like taking Breath of the Wild, for example, there's a difference between fighting a Hinox and fighting a Blight.
Well, to be fair, Hinoxes and Blights are recycled. Well, first off, okay, Blights aren't recycled, but like Hinoxes are. The Golden Knight is not recycled.
Yeah. Okay. How do I explain it? There's no gravitas.
He doesn't have the gravitas. Okay.
There's no
There's no
nothing
unique
about
boss theme.
No, there's nothing about him that actually makes him feel any different from just a tougher enemy. Whereas the bosses actually feel like proper bosses. I'm not a game designer, so I'm not able to really put into words what the difference between a proper boss and then just a stronger enemy is.
That's called a mini boss.
Well, I mean, but there's also actual mini bosses like the giant jar in the academy, for example.
In on that favor, Jarvis.
God, he still looks so evil.
Is it the fact that his stripes are blood red and he has the goatee?
Yeah. He's pale. He's pale with red accents. He has got the goatee. He's got sunken in eyes and eyeshadow.
Fair enough. So you're saying that bad bitches can't wear eyeshadow?
No, bad bitches do wear eyeshadow. That's why they're bad.
So good bitches can't wear eyeshadow.
Correct. Name one good bitch that wears eyeshadow other than Batman.
Barbie.
She wears eyeliner.
She could definitely rock eyeshadow if she wanted to, and punk Barbie.
God, I would love a punk or goth Barbie. Barbie is punk, let's be honest. She's very anti-establishment.
She has like 5 zillion jobs. She was an astronaut before they existed.
God. You know, hot take, but I think Legally Blonde and the Barbie movie exist in the same universe. The new Barbie movie is basically so every generation has their own like true proper girl boss movie. For us it was Legally Blonde, and for the next generation, like for Gen Z, it's going to be the Barbie movie.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Were you the one that was reading that article that really poorly portrayed that
The director of Juno?
yeah, the thing they said?
Yeah, so
By
the
taking
director
it out
of
of
Juno did an interview where they... So basically in 2014, they were asked to make a movie for Barbie. They couldn't come up with anything after several years, and eventually left the project entirely. When interviewed recently, they explained, well, they wanted sort of a postmodern punk Barbie who's a girl boss. And a lot of people were like, oh, that's so stupid. Barbie is, of course, a girl boss. And it's like, yeah, but, like, this is something she was told what to do in 2014.
Yeah, girl boss has dramatically shifted since 2014.
Check out my new weapon.
Hell yeah. You just snap and half your enemies just turn to dust.
Nope. I get to be Tesla now. Check it out.
Nice.
Ratchet and Clank always has at least one sort of AoE weapon like this.
I like crowd control weapons.
Oh, okay. Give me a second. I want to...
But yeah, in 2014, Girl Boss was like pretty much the same as what it was in the early 2000s, which is to say, not really that well written. Like, you want to know who was considered Girl Boss in the early 2000s?
Tell.
Elektra from the
Daredevil movie?
Yeah, the Daredevil movie. And then she got her own movie, and it wasn't that good.
Transport ramps are up. Follow me.
Oh man, I was thinking about just bad movies, and I just remember one that really makes me mad.
Oh, what's a really bad movie?
Gods of Egypt.
That's a fine movie. It's not good, but it's like not painfully bad. It's just boring.
It is painfully bad if you're a fan of Egyptian mythology.
Fair enough. Of which I am, by the way.
Yeah. It had Chadwick Boseman in it though, and he was like the best part. He played Thought.
Yep. He is a massive thought.
Yeah, the funniest joke was the one where it's like, "Oh come on, you're trying to appeal
To my ego.
Yeah, to my vanity. What kind of person do you think I am?" And then like all his clones that are in the room just like glare at him. He's like, "Okay, you have a point." but then the movie botches it by having him like struggle with the easiest goddamn riddle.
Yeah.
Do you know what the riddle's answer was?
I have not seen the movie in ages, so I could not tell you.
All right, let me ask you the riddle. Let's see.
Oh, I love a good riddle.
I'm looking up.
Looking up the riddle. Ooh, even Silver doesn't know the riddle. It must be very good.
All right. I never was, am always to be. No one ever saw me, nor ever will, and yet I am the confidence of all who live and breathe. What am I?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna do that in writing. Okay, never was, never will be.
No. Always will.
Okay.
Always will be. Never was, always to be. No one ever saw, nor ever will, and yet I am the confidence of all who live and breathe.
Oh, God. I know you said this is like stupid easy, but like I'm actually like I am playing a game, so I'm not so I'm only half
That's
focused.
fair. Honestly, the later half is just fluff.
Is
The
it
line.
wind?
No. I never was. I always will be. That is the
One
only
moment.
part that. Oh, what's up?
I am back.
All right. Yeah. Based on the first sentence, always or never was, but always will be.
I'm gonna have to give up on this one. Nothing's coming to mind.
Tomorrow.
Oh.
Tomorrow
It's
never was, but always will be.
oh, fair enough.
No one ever sees tomorrow, and they never will.
Because it's today. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's the classic tomorrow never comes.
Yeah. Because by the time it does, it's today.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But then again, you're also not the god of knowledge and insight.
Excuse you.
Also, I think that it wasn't even thought that answered it. I want to say that it was like
It's
the human.
it's the girlfriend character, I'm guessing.
No, I think it was the human that said it, that answered, which makes recruiting thought completely useless, other than establishing him as a character so that he can die and his brain can be stolen. I think that's how it goes.
You know,
'Cause
that's the director who got Bruce Lee's kid killed, right?
For The Crow.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, that's the director of The Crow. But
I
to
did
be
not know
fair,
that.
I'm gonna be honest. He did feel bad about it, and he did leave directing for a long time afterwards.
And also, like, so you know how that happened, right? So the way it happened was, there are two types of rounds that go into, like, there's rounds that are bullets that are empty of its gunpowder, but still have the actual bullet itself. It's the bullet and casing, but no gunpowder. Those are the ones that are used when like doing close-ups of like loading a gun. And then there's blanks, which are the casings and gunpowder, but no actual bullet. But what happened was in an earlier scene, when they did a close-up of loading the empty bullets to the gun, the actual bullet part had gotten
Jammed.
dislodged, so
Mm.
that later on when they filled it with blanks for a shooting scene, it basically turned it into a real bullet. I wonder how Alec Baldwin's doing.
Usually I have Clank to translate stuff like this. Can you say that again in non-geek speak?
When the general lowers the defense grid, you just activate all the switches I send to you.
Got it.
Ah, classic nerd joke.
Linking power switches to your nav unit now.
This is a time capsule of a game.
Yeah.
Good work. Hey, you're pretty good on those things. Removing safeguard and nav syncing now.
Gotta keep going.
I am so hardcore. Wait until my HoloNet girlfriend hears about this. She's gonna want to meet me in
All right, so there's Alec Baldwin seems to be doing fairly okay right now.
He should be.
Yeah, it was not his fault. The person, like, there are people on set whose job it is to make sure that guns are not actively loaded, and to, you know, do the safety checks. That is the person to blame.
Yep.
You've broken into high security installations before, haven't you? Removing safeguard and nav syncing.
It would be like blaming an actor for stabbing another actor because someone had accidentally put a real knife instead of one of those trick knives where the blade goes into itself.
That's a
You know?
reference. It's a reference.
There was an episode of Psych. There was Hamlet, and but what happened was it looked like the person had been stabbed with a real knife instead of a trick knife. But what actually turned out to happen was the actor that was stabbed had a severe peanut allergy, and the doctor who checked his pulse, like the doctor that was in the audience that went on stage to check his pulse, was had coated the apple that he ate in an earlier scene with peanut oil, so and then when he was checking the pulse, swapped the trick knife with a real knife instead.
Oh, that was awkward. I was supposed to fly up all the way up, but what ended up happening is I hit a bit of wall, so I didn't have enough momentum. So I just sort of flew off into the middle of nowhere, and like the cutscene had to trigger anyway.
Nice. I imagine Ratchet just like crashed through a random window and then just ran up a stairwell.
That's probably what he did. He's very athletic.
God. I love Kung Fu Panda 2. It has one of my favorite jokes is when
Level 5 weapon here. Check it out.
Oh, it's got tentacles.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the one where it's like, we meet again, my old foe.
Stairs.
And it cuts to Shen practicing his monologue, and then the ground shakes, and he's gets ready and stares at and looks at the stairs, ready. And then it's just his minions carrying Poe up.
Ah, yes, that's a classic.
God, I love Kung Fu Panda 2.
So you want to know something neat? Do you want to know, here's a bit of fun Ratchet and Clank lore. So the reason all the collectibles fly towards Ratchet is because his wrench is magnetized.
Oh, nice.
And that's why if you throw out his wrench, it will collect collectibles for you.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very useful.
Yeah. You know, Michelle Yeoh from Everything Everywhere All at Once was the seer in Kung Fu Panda 2.
Yes, I knew this before you did.
She's a great actress. What's she gonna be in soon? Is she gonna be?
She's
gotta
in
be
American-born Chinese. Or Chinese-born American. She plays the goddess of wisdom and beauty.
Yeah. Oh, she was in Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
she's
one
in-
of the robots, I think.
She's in The Witcher, the TV series.
Oh, that's gonna go downhill fast.
Yeah. The Witcher: Blood Origin.
I've heard that's really bad.
Oh. It's always rough when an amazing talent gets stuck with a bad script in.
To be fair, that's exactly what
direction.
Henry Cavill was arguing against, and he's like, "We gotta fire these guys. They have no idea what they're doing."
Consequence, right?
Yeah, that's fair. It's absolutely fair.
We're almost there.
Henry Cavill, like, he stated in an interview the reason why he became an actor was to play Geralt and also to play some other person he's playing in some other video game show that's coming out.
Warhammer.
Yeah,
40K.
Warhammer. He said in an interview that playing Geralt and playing whoever is going to be in Warhammer are the reason he started acting.
Oh, on the topic of Warhammer 40K, that's getting a. Are you familiar with Space Marine, the 2000s video game by THQ?
Oh, I am aware of its existence.
Yes, it's getting its sequel finally.
Wow, after 20 years. 21 years, 22 years.
No, not that old. We're like 10. Still impressive.
Yeah.
Man, look at that guy just flying across. Gosh.
He's probably got jet boots.
He does. I have jet boots. We both have jet boots.
Why couldn't you fly across then?
I don't have the jumping capability.
Alright.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
If you intend to manhandle me, I'll have you know I am a level 60 wizard with melee ability. That hurt my pride and my solar plexus.
so all the alien races in this game are based after high school stereotypes.
Makes sense.
We haven't got into the ones based off the jocks and football guys yet.
You're here to witness my greatest triumph. And look,
I'm guessing the robots are the theater kids.
Yes, I believe so.
to me, 'tis the shame of his entire race.
Because he's definitely
Oh.
the kind of...
What is it this
Oh,
The
rip.
shame of his entire
You
race.
still trying to turn everyone into robots? Or is it just good old-fashioned galactic domination?
Part of me wants to let you live long enough to find out. The other part really wants to kill you. You know, for old times.
He's the kind of guy who would practice his monologue in the mirror.
He does.
He does do that?
Yes, he does.
Well, at least they are really good at characterization.
At least we know what he went with.
Nefarious does. Okay, so the lore of Ratchet and Clank is.
Take it out. I'll cover you from the air. You just find a way to stall it.
Where should I start? Should I start with the first game?
Uh,
I promise I'd tell you the lore of Ratchet and Clank.
is that a giant pacifier?
No. It's more like a giant light bulb.
Oh. It looks like a giant pacifier. You know, it's really good writing when you can see a character for a couple minutes and just say, that seems like the kind of character that would do X. And it turns out that they do actually do X. You know?
That's fair.
That's how you know that a character is very well established.
Dr. Nefarious is very well written. He's probably the most popular antagonist in the entire series.
Fair. You know who's a really, really, really well written character?
Tell me.
Prince Zuko.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Ratchet, I'm inbound. My ion cannons aren't strong enough to pierce its shell, but they should lock up its
You know,
circuitry from
I think if Zuko used his swords, he would probably be able to beat Azula during the Day of the Black Sun.
He probably could have. Azula, despite being a master of
Manipulation.
firepower, probably wasn't all that great at sword fighting.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's
okay.
why-
There we go.
that's why during the Day of Black Sun, she had to resort to stall tactics. In order, you know, she riled up Sokka in order to stall long enough for them for the sun to come back.
is held on by an exposed bolt on the hull. You'll have to rip off
Hold on.
Hold on, what? So did something happen? It's over. Yeah, I think we're good.
Sorry about that. I don't know if you heard that.
I didn't hear anything. I was actually quite confused.
Oh, fireworks. Someone
Ah.
let off a bunch of fireworks right outside.
Yeah, that sounds disruptive.
Yeah, I fucking hate the kids that So, there's these kids that just keep destroying shit. They broke the fence. I live in an apartment complex, and it has a yard. Like, the entire building has a yard.
Oh, fuck. Dang it.
And
I swear I'm really good at this game. I once beat it without any of the armor upgrades.
Or so you say. Anywho, these kids...
Don't do this to me, Silver. Don't do this to me.
Anywho,
Do I make fun of you when you screw up in Zelda? Do I do that?
Yes!
No, I don't.
You, though.
No, I don't.
Well, actually, when was the last time I played Zelda?
Majora's Mask.
Yeah,
Tears of the Kingdom. Pretty recently.
I wasn't the one playing that on the channel.
You sure? I'm pretty sure you were.
Nope, that was Biddy.
Yeah, you just say it was Biddy. It is actually you who got smacked by that Hinox.
We didn't encounter a Hinox.
No, you did. I know you did. I'm fucking with you. I have no idea what actually happened. I don't watch any of your streams.
We got about we had like 2 episodes in. Well, we made it to the surface and then explored the depths, and then on episode 3 it was only like half an hour long because the Biddy's capture card ended up screwing up.
Mmm. What a clever way to fit in your general mechanics with a unique large-scale boss fight.
Yeah. They teased you. Wow, you ran right into that one.
Yeah, that's on me.
Seems like a massive design flaw, if you ask me.
Well, who else but a Lombax with, like, gravity boots is going to climb up the side of a death bot?
I mean, it could be maybe a robot with an impact wrench that can fly.
Enemies have your position. I'm moving in for support.
Probably to get been shot down, to be honest.
And more.
I mean, I'm
Does
tearing right through
Gunnier
like tons
take-
of robots right now, so I can't really say for sure if the robot would be a better option.
Well, what if it was your robot companion?
Clank cannot fight.
Not Clank, the other one that is currently
Zircon?
with you and playing. Yeah, Zircon. He can fly.
Yeah,
Give
but
him
he
a
doesn't
wrench.
have a wrench.
Give him a wrench.
A big enough wrench? He doesn't know how to do anything but kill.
Yeah. So just make
You
it.
you think he can strategize? You think you have a lot of faith in Mr. Zircon Silver.
Why wouldn't I? He's obviously the best character in the series. Ooh.
All clear, General.
Ratchet, remember, I'm locking on now.
Aha!
I
I just gotta destroy the Cybertronic brain now.
This is a really good boss.
It's
It's
very
very
fun.
involved. I really do like bosses that have like a bunch of phases that all play very differently from each other.
I'm running out of ammo. Dear God, I forgot how like ammo tight this game gets.
That's fair.
Well, shoot.
It's rough. I think one of my favorite Zelda bosses has like an obscene amount of phases, and you have to use every weapon in your arsenal at some point. And it is a really good boss. It's called Ramrock.
Mm.
He's got 4 phases, and yeah. The first phase is basically Dead Man's Volley with his stone fist. The second phase is you gotta throw a bomb at him. Like he'll do an attack and then he'll open a cage,
And he's dead.
which you gotta throw a bomb in.
Alright,
third-
so the lore of Ratchet and Clank.
Yes.
So the Lombax species lives on the planet of Festoon. And they have a war with another species by the name of the Kragmites, the scourge of the galaxy. The Kragmites are a deplorable, disgusting, horrible race of horrible monster things. They look like tiny worms, but they just start eating whatever is in front of them.
Oof.
So the Kragmites are not good. Nobody likes them, but they just basically go from planet to planet, consuming everybody and starting fights. So the Lombaxes get rid of them. They do
As
this
one
with their
does.
secret weapon. Unfortunately, they leave one alive and take pity on this singular Kragmite, whose species
Yeah.
they just wiped out. This
That's
Kragmite
bad idea.
grows up to be Emperor Tachyon, or Emperor Percival Tachyon for his full name. Yes, Emperor
Yes.
is his name.
The person that gives that gives Trunks his sword.
Percival?
No, Tapion. I'm making a joke.
Ah,
Dragon Ball Z.
Gotcha.
Yeah, in Dragon Ball Z, the movie in which Trunks is given his sword, uh,
Copy that. Got the
is
coordinates.
it's the sword of Tapion,
No, I'm sorry,
and
I had to go so
he's
long without another Lombax to talk to.
it's one of the better movies, except for the ending.
Okay.
Know that from this day
It's one of those ones where they just bring Goku back to save the day, even though he's supposed to be dead at the time.
Mm.
But they just bring him back because you can't not have Goku, and it's not even done in a way like it's not even like BoJack Unbound where he just gives his energy to someone. He just comes in, does the fist, and kills the bad guy of the movie, and then
Ah, that hurts a little.
leaves.
That's a little lame.
Yeah, especially since it's a Trunks movie. It's a Kid Trunks movie, and he doesn't even get to be the one to do the thing.
Oh. Anyway,
But other than that, it's a good movie.
so what ends up
So-
happening is Percival Tachyon hates the Lombaxes and blames them for the destruction of his species, which they did do.
Yeah,
And
I mean, if my entire species was genocided with me being the only one left, I would kind of blame the people that genocided.
fair enough. Anyway, he goes, well, I'm very smart. What if I helped you guys? I'm working on these new robots. And they're like, oh, we don't trust you entirely, but maybe we'll take you up on this. He basically ends up turning their own technology against them and invades the planet with a bunch of robots.
I see.
During this, the Lombaxes vanish forever, never to be seen again. Ooh, except for two known survivors. Technically three. The one
Well, two
survivor
known and
is
one
Alistair
unknown.
Azimuth, who we will talk more about later. The other survivors are Caden and his son, Ratchet. Caden, of course, is murdered by Tachyon, and his son is left abandoned on the planet Veldin, where he grows
Yeah.
up without a family.
Oh, rip.
The entire procedure will require approximately 183 paradoxes, 84 if the blood participate. Sir, might I suggest we allow the terracnoids to examine the chamber before testing the machine?
What's the matter, Lawrence? Chicken?
See, sir, Butterfingers.
God, how much personality these villains have.
True, true.
Nefarious looks like a gamer computer.
He has that aspect to him, indeed.
Yeah, 16 by 9.
Ratchet or the owner find the clock, our plans will be ruined! Your body will remain crushed and abandoned on Zorik. Is that what you want? I'm bringing in specialists!
A good villain with a giant head who has a fish in a bowl with a robot body as a minion.
Decades ago, you
It's such a good trope.
in the era of a supernova. How would you like to have it back?
On a side note, did you hear Libra's voice?
Uh,
So he's
What about it?
introducing the Valkyries, and he's like, Cassiopeia. Another one. And then he's like, and Libra. And then she talks like that, like a gas station attendee.
nice.
Hey, how you doing?
Like Dodoria from in Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
I guess.
I like Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Fair enough.
It's
It's
funny.
a good show.
I'm really enjoying their creator commentary series, where they go through each episode and give commentary on it.
Never put up today what you've already done yesterday. No, that's not right. Always do today what you didn't put off yesterday. Nope, nope, that wasn't it either. Oh, well, it was something about doing stuff when it should be done.
Okay, so Ratchet grows up on Veldon, seeking to leave it behind and go on amazing adventures just like his hero, Captain Quark.
Oh boy.
And Captain Quark is, as we've discussed, not a great person.
Yeah, no, it's all a show.
Yeah, but
It's
before
all
that,
fake.
he thinks he's pretty cool. So Clank shows up because Clank is a defective war robot created by Chairman Drek of the species the Blarg.
Yeah.
So the Blarg are like, hey, we need a new planet because our old planet became too polluted to survive on. And Chairman Drek is like, yes, I have a brilliant plan. I'm going to make a new planet by ripping out chunks of other planets, and then we'll use those to make ourselves an even better planet. And he does.
Fair.
He goes from planet to planet, basically ripping them apart for essentially scrap. And he knows he's doing a terrible thing. It's actually kind of funny. He's voiced by Paul Giamatti in the movie.
I like Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, he's fun. So, what ends up happening...
You know who I would love to see in a game?
Who?
Joe Pesci. I like Joe Pesci.
Is he alive?
I'm pretty sure he's alive.
Okay, I wouldn't know. I don't keep up with celebrities.
Yeah, he's alive. He's
Okay.
80 years old.
Neat. Anyway, so Clank discovers that Chairman Drek's evil plan is his evil plan and has to come up with a way to stop it. To do this, he tries to find a Captain Quark, the only hero in the galaxy who can take on Chairman Drek's evil plan. Oh, we got orientation.
Oh yeah. I love Richard Horvitz.
That's not Richard Horvitz.
No, that's definitely Richard Horvitz.
No, it's not.
It sounds a lot like him.
not.
Not the alien, the one behind the camera.
It's not. It's Nolan North.
Oh. The one that's actually filming is Nolan North?
Yes.
Here, it sounds a lot like Richard Horvitz.
He's a very talented voice actor.
I do not. I've looked up Nolan North's IMDb so many times. I do not remember what he's in besides the stuff you say that he's in. That one's got a fez. Fezzes are cool.
Yep.
Jesus.
As I said, the Fongoids louse it up. They nearly destroyed the entire galaxy.
So that just time travel without paradoxes. We're not gonna have any beasts with a billion backs.
Rules concerning the operation of the great clock. Number 1. Under no circumstances is it to be used as a time machine. The clock is not meant to alter time, only to keep it. Number 2. Should you find yourself wanting to use the clock as a time machine, consult rule number 1. Did you hear that, Sigmund? Because rule number 1, you see, says don't do it.
Brilliant, sir.
All right. Let's go have some tea.
I told you who voices Orvis, right?
Probably, but I don't remember.
They voice Homunculus.
Oh, yeah. Charles Martinet.
Exactly. Clap, clap, clap. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Nice GLaDOS reference.
That was a me reference. GLaDOS ripped me off. Clap,
I like GLaDOS.
clap, clap.
Oh, good. It seems my sarcastic clapping is still functional. God, Portal 2 is so fucking good.
It is an insanely good game, yes.
We should play Portal 2 on the channel.
I would absolutely be up to doing the 2-player version for...
Well, we should probably do the 1-player and then the 2-player.
Fair enough. And how about this? We have a rule where you can't be a loser and just sort of hover in a spot for like 10 minutes going, I can't figure it out. What am I supposed to do? Just so I can walk over and you can crush me.
Okay, that was like one stream.
It was very childish.
Of course.
Be sure to stay away from anomalies you've already repaired. 2, 1. Fix the risk by focusing your chronoceptor's beam on each anomaly. You're doing quite well.
God. I love Portal 2 so much. GLaDOS and Wheatley are such fantastic characters.
Fair enough.
God. I love that Wheatley was literally artificial stupidity. What's that pink thing? Oh no, it breaks the anomalies.
Yep. So I need to destroy them before they can re-break stuff that I fix. Ta-da!
That's a nice minigame. And it showers you with loot.
And I'm going to be doing that like 3 more times. Congratulations, me.
God, I love loot fountains.
Very much the same.
Yeah.
Everything's more exciting when it explodes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The that was actually one of the main complaints. Well, not one of that. Well, not main, but that was one of the severe complaints about Diablo Immortal is that they locked the loot fountain behind a paywall, which just basically converted it. They did it to skirt the loot box laws of Europe, but the European agent, the EU's agency that like is the authority on what is and isn't gambling, was like, yeah, no, we saw what you're doing. That's still gambling.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because companies don't want to follow the rules. They want to figure out ways that they can look like they're following the rules.
Yeah, or just ignore the rules and try to find a very flimsy loophole.
I love
And
this
then-
effect, by the way. Look at it.
Oh yeah, no, the cubes coming together when you get closer.
It's such a cool effect. I love how it weaves and waves.
Oh yeah. It's very dynamic. And makes the place feel more active.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So Captain Quark ends up turning out to be a bad guy. Ratchet and Clank end up defeating Captain Quark, and then they defeat Chairman Drek, putting an end to his evil plans. Fast forward about a year or two, they're celebrities, and they kind of don't know what to do with all their celebrity. They're kind of bored, actually. Without an enemy to fight, they kind of just fall back on their daily tasks, but at the same time, now they're celebrities. And Ratchet is starting to feel that, gosh, I wish I could do something, Buzz, you know? You know, earn the title of being a hero again. When he gets kidnapped by Chairman Fizzwidget of Megacorp, the largest weapon manufacturer in a different galaxy. So Chairman Fizzwidget sends him on a quest to collect something called the Proto-Pet, which is a
Like Pokemon or some shit.
kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Which has been stolen by a mysterious entity known as the Masked Criminal.
Oh no, who could this masked criminal be? Could it possibly be Captain Quark?
No,
Oh.
because Captain Quark is Fizzwidget. You see, the twist is that Quark has kidnapped Fizzwidget, put him in a closet, and has been impersonating him for several months.
And nobody noticed.
Well, people did notice. How are you supposed to argue with a man who literally, who's like super rich, you know?
I mean, you could shove them into a carbon fiber can at the bottom of the ocean and see what happens.
True, that is one method. But the problem is nobody could really prove it, and nobody suspected it was otherwise, you know? He was always weird. Just not this weird, you know?
Fair. Eccentric.
A little, yeah. So, anyway, it turns out the Proto-Pet is basically a person-eating monster, and Quark plans to frame Ratchet and Clank as the ones behind it, which means he gets to basically play hero again.
Nice.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work because he's a bumbling doof, and his plan goes awry. Oops.
Of course it does.
Anyway, what ends up happening is Ratchet and Clank save the day, and Quark in shame goes into hiding, where he's not seen again until the third game. Dun dun dun.
Big Rippy. I'm still thinking about Joe Pesci.
That's fair.
Legal Eagle posted a video earlier today where he was talking about it with the
No, I screwed that up.
writer of My Cousin Vinny, and asking about like what kind of research went into making the movie, what kind of stuff, you know, and
I get you.
yeah.
There we go. Oh, fuck.
We got to jump off.
Yeah. There we go. I'm so clever.
Nice. Oh yeah, so for the Ocean Gate, you know how they he managed to, how they managed to skirt around the rules of giving tours of the Titanic without actually being certified, beyond it just being a gray area with a submersible. So what it was that $250 fee was uh, a quote unquote donation for a research grant, and then the person who donated would be hired on free of charge uh, to the trip to the Titanic for research purposes.
Ah, legality, my favorite.
Mm.
The
Just watch movies
they're
again.
they're not here to see the Titanic. They're here as a research assistant.
To see the Titanic. Yeah, it is really stupid. The dumbest part is that the reason why he was deviating so much from, you know, any kind of form of safety was, his response was, oh, well, if you look at aircrafts, 90% of uh, problems are user error, and it's like, yeah, that's because in manufacturing they follow the guidelines to maximize safety. So if something does go wrong, it's most likely user error because, the actual mechanical parts have been certified.
There's a movie about that. It was Sully.
Uh,
Good film. It's about the miracle on the Hudson.
yeah, the Hudson Miracle.
I've
Um,
told you about this film before, right?
oh, absolutely. Um,
Very enjoyable
the
film.
yeah, the it's borderline survivorship bias, where it's claiming something's not that bad because, like, when people were when helmets for motorcycles and bicycles became a legal requirement, uh, there was an increase in uh, head injuries. But the reason
The
reported,
reason why is because those would have been deaths.
yeah, they would have been fatal without the helmet. And it's the same kind of logic. Like, yeah, the reason why it's human error is because the mechanical parts have been approved and certified for maximum safety.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So on Twitter there was a video, an animation uh, of what the implosion may have looked like. And it was fairly accurate. Most of them have the carbon fiber hull like crushed like a can, when in reality it would just it would crush and shatter because it's not, carbon fiber is not pliable once it's set like that. So, but the thing is, it crushed into a cloud of dark
Oh,
for obvious reasons.
I completely missed that.
Wild. And a blue check was like, said something along the lines of like, I find it hard to believe that a submarine that small would have that much oil in it, and they had to be explained to them that no, that is not oil. That is in fact the billionaires.
That is the former men of wealth.
Will a junior caretaker please report to Grove Station 7 for VersaFuse maintenance? Thank you.
Ta-da! I'm smart. They shared me in more money.
Hell yeah. I do love that the world had absolutely no chill with wishing these billionaires a swift death, or any kind of death in general, and dunking on them after death, because You know.
Well, to be fair, there is some tragedy to it.
Yeah, the kid who was only on board because his dad pressured him to go on because of Father's Day. That is sad.
And probably some of these people actually had faith in this guy. They're like, "Oh, you made sure this is safe, right?" He's like, "Yeah, it's obviously safe. I'm rich." So the people
Yeah,
who died, tragic.
we're idiots. No, it's not okay. It's not a tragedy. A tragedy is sudden and unexpected. This was completely predictable. In fact, he fired the people who said this would happen.
It's tragic to everybody who isn't him. Give me a second.
Well, I mean, the people on board didn't do their deal, like, didn't do any kind of, like,
So you're blaming the victims who put their faith in the wrong person in this
Well,
particular case, right?
I mean, that's mischaracterizing it. What I'm doing is I'm blaming the people who went on board an obvious death trap because their belief in a meritocracy is stronger than common sense.
All right.
Temporal recording initiated.
Here we go.
Temporal recording initiated.
Oh, fuck. I have to do the entire thing again.
I should have gone in the green.
Yeah, the other one. I overrode my my success. There we go.
You know what would help if the light on Clank's head changed to the color of whatever one you were doing.
I mean, that wouldn't really help. Not really.
Well, no, to keep track of which one you're recording over.
No, they have a system in place where, like, if you step on the thing for a while, it'll show you the highlighted paths that that they take, so you know exactly which ones are which. I just
No,
didn't
I mean
wait.
an in the moment kind of thing.
I mean, it's a puzzle, so if you can't remember which one you're manipulating, that's kind of an on you thing.
Rift repaired on engine.
Oh, so now you're blaming the victims of bad memory?
Well, they probably wouldn't be able to remember the minutes necessary for a time puzzle anyway, so. Oh, you don't know what movie is really gross and has
What?
to deal with memory problems?
What?
50 First Dates.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
That's
guessing
a
you're
very
familiar?
Of course, it's the Adam Sandler one where he builds a house out of waffles to impress the girl with amnesia, and they basically have her relive the same day over and over again because like they bought God
They bought land in Hawaii.
the uh, it's a bit uncomfortable. I would hate to have like really bad short-term memory loss like that.
I mean, think about it this way. The ending of the movie is this lady discovering that she's on a boat with a man she's never met before, pregnant with his child. And as she looks out the window to discover she's in flippin' Alaska, the song by the Police, I'll Be Watching You, plays.
Yeah.
Just to
It's
really fuck with you, you know?
Yeah, I think the thing that would fuck me the most is like imagine just like waking up and being old, and maybe even like at the point where everyone you know could be dead. You know, you don't know.
And
It's
you wouldn't know because you have memory attached to like 5 years ago.
or like or even like 10 years ago or 15 if it's goes on long, because like I don't know, that's why dementia it terrifies me.
Dementia is very terrifying.
Yeah, my great aunt had it and it was really rough to
I did it!
watch. I could not even
Woo!
imagine what having it would be like.
I mean, she probably doesn't even realize she has it.
Well, she passed away like 10 years ago, but
Imagine going up to your aunt and being like, my aunt, who I care so much about, you have dementia. And she's like, what's dementia? And you have to explain dementia to her, and then she's like, what's dementia? And you have to keep it...
that's horrible.
Oh, we got a sad scene.
Oh no, is he evil?
Hello, Sigmund. Just wanted to let you know I will be traveling to the Tomley outpost on Xanathar and will not be back until morning. A fellow scientist has requested an audience with me, and etiquette dictates I comply.
Don't go, sir.
Mind the clock while I'm gone. Wind the time cleaners and, Sigmund, let's just keep this our little secret. As the kids say, BRB.
Please don't go.
End recording.
Fun fact, Clank has that exact same laugh, so they both laugh like that.
I see.
So the third game, which I didn't tell you because we got distracted. So
Yeah.
the third game is about Dr. Nefarious, actually.
Yeah.
So Dr. Nefarious shows up, and he's turning people into robots. And the only person who can stop him is Captain Quark. So Ratchet has to find Captain Quark. He learns more about Quark's backstory as a bit of a fraud. Or at least an over-exaggerated hero.
I like the green one. She gives me Ursula vibes.
The bounty's up to 2 million bolts on him. Libra, be a good girl and take care of our friend. We'll kill the Elder.
Is Libra the green one?
Libra's the yellow one right here.
Okay.
But I think her outfit is green, yeah.
Well, the ships were color-coded.
Okay, yeah. This is Libra that I'm fighting right now.
Yeah, so Libra's probably the yellow one.
Nope. That worked as well as you might imagine.
I don't even know what happened.
I was dodge rolling, and I ended up dodge rolling into the enemy ship, so I took damage when their shields went up.
Oh, that's rough. Man, it's so nice that everything in space is on a single plane. You know?
It used to not be, but then they realized it was too difficult and they didn't have time.
It sounds like skill issue.
No, it was literally they had to produce one game a year to meet Sony's ridiculous demands.
Oh, I thought you meant too difficult for players.
No, they've done it before in other Ratchet and Clank games, but like it was too difficult to design an entire out of space section in the limited time they had. So space is kind of like a little empty.
Well, no, that's not what I was referring to. I was referring to everything being on the same axis.
Yeah, that was part of the design. They had to cut it down drastically so it couldn't be full 3D. It
Uh,
just wasn't feasible with their deadlines.
that's fair. Couldn't just make a sphere of.
Hmm. I mean, space is already a bit empty, so take from that as you will.
I know, but that my complaint was that it was empty. Is that everything's just on the same uh, axial plane?
Yeah, that's kind of because, as I said before, um, they didn't have time to really flesh out space as much as they wanted, so this was sort of a compromise.
Yeah. I should, I should get, or I should install Space Engineer again.
Oh, fuck.
I remember that game being pretty fun.
And I did that all while dodge rolling.
Did it?
And Libra's
killed
dead.
her.
What a shame. And she dropped health. Nice.
Get fucked, Libra.
I heard she was really a Sagittarius.
No, that sounds like something a Scorpio would say.
All right.
Because Scorpio's the one right after Libra.
Ah, fair enough.
Sagittarius is the one after Scorpio.
What's this planet? This is the planet Lumos.
Ah, it sounds bright.
We're an hour, 30 minutes in. I think we can do part of Lumos.
Sure.
All right. So
am
if this is the
right
planet I am
on.
thinking about, we're going to finally find out more about General Azimuth.
Like that he's evil all along.
That would be very sad.
That he's evil and he worked with Nefarious to kill your dad.
Well, Emperor Tachyon killed Ratchet's dad.
That's just what they want you to think.
Look at the ship. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's
It looks
exactly
very
like yours, but
marketable.
like very, very similar designs, to be fair.
It's very marketable.
Shame Ratchet and Clank has never been much of a marketable franchise.
What? There were no like Ratchet and Clank action figures, no toy spaceships.
Not as far as I know. Oh, God. Remember how he said there's no motion controls in this game?
You lied.
I lied. It's entirely attached to the Dynamo of Doom.
Let's not use it.
Robomet's new plasma striker is the next evolution in long-range assassination. The plasma striker's strength comes from our patented bioscope. The scope pinpoints vulnerable spots on
So it's basically VATS.
for a more efficient kill. Just lay your crosshairs on the red indicator and bam!
Yeah, but it doesn't slow down time.
It'll sure give him a reason to retreat.
Oh, neat.
The plasma striker,
So you gotta be careful.
Robomet.
Yeah, kinda.
Welcome back, Chief.
You know who I think the true villain of Spyro is?
Moneybags?
Exactly. I mean, Gromit is probably the true villain of space.
Who?
I don't know, I assumed the guy was named Grommel because the market was like GrommelNet.
Ah. Yeah, that's the market.
What's the guy's name? The mascot's name?
Grommel, I guess.
Yeah, okay. My guess.
There are
The
whole
point
species
is,
like that, if that helps.
yeah. You know what one of my favorite fictional alien species is?
Tell me.
The Vogons from Hitchhikers.
Ah, yes. Bad poetry.
Yeah.
Alright, so ask me what we're doing on this planet.
What are we doing on this planet?
We're looking for an obsidian eye.
Like the letter or like an eyeball?
It's a communication device. A very rare kind of communication device.
I love I love using obsidian as an adjective because it always makes things sound so badass.
Oh. Tetramites.
Oh, they're like termites, but tetra. I am always a big fan of eyeballs where the sclera is yellow and the iris is red, like a reddish orange. Because
So
that's
the
always a
gimmick
good.
here is that I just need to be very fast and get to the next source of water. Okay, I'm
They
fast enough I
can't
can
swim?
shoop. There we go.
General, can we talk about what happened with my father, the Lombaxes?
Now is not the time for distractions.
There we go.
This close.
Check that out. Ooh, okay. Ta-da! So just gotta dodge these things. So the Obsidian Eye is a communication device that's capable of communicating with individuals anywhere in the galaxy. You
That
tell it who
seems
you want to
useful.
find, and it'll tell you, and it'll show you where they are, and you can talk to them.
And it's limited to the galaxy.
The entire galaxy, anywhere,
So
everywhere.
if Clank is in the center of the universe, that's probably not in the same galaxy.
You can communicate with them anywhere. It doesn't
Okay.
matter where.
Oh, sweet, a skating section.
Oh, maybe. Time for character.
General, will you just stop for a second? I want to know what happened.
Questions. You ask all these questions. Ask yourself this. How relevant is the past when it can be changed? Your father would have said not very.
That's him. And you still haven't given me a straight answer. Now, why aren't you with the Lombaxes?
Because I failed them.
That was his mistake.
Oh.
His mistake.
The Great War, Polaris was a dangerous place. Even with the Kragmites gone, I knew steps needed to be taken to protect the galaxy. One day, we were approached by an inventor with incredible ideas, technology light years beyond what we were using. The inventor was someone your father warned me not to trust. Our kind had grown suspicious.
Did you trust him with his Jafar hat?
Was the right thing to do. For the galaxy, I granted him full access to our technology, all of our secrets. Only when he was finished. They took refuge in the court, but your father refused. He would never have left your mother. When he made it back, she was already gone. I don't know how long he survived before Tachyon caught up with him. I know I was responsible for his death. For my crimes, I was forbidden from joining the Lombaxes. And so, I live in exile. I can make it right, Ratchet. All of it. We can fix it. With the clock under our control, it'll be like none of this ever happened. Stay with me.
I mean, he made valid points.
I'll get your family back.
How much does history matter if it can be changed?
That is a very metal line.
It is very metal.
So I was right. He did he was responsible. He was responsible for Ratchet's father's death, and also he is evil, but not in the way that I thought.
No, he isn't.
I mean, fucking with the time stream
Yeah, okay,
is
that
evil.
that is kind of messed up.
He's clearly going to end up being the true final villain because you got to stop him from fucking with the time stream. That much is painfully obvious.
I mean, yeah, but that's just painfully obvious in general.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What do you got for me? Okay, I'm gonna pick up this armor. I will say this: one issue I have is that you have to buy all the armor in the order it unlocks in.
Oh, that's lame. And also,
Yeah,
it's ugly.
I think the next pair of armor is open. No, you get this at the end of the game, but like, oh dang it.
Can you unequip the armor?
No,
But it's so ugly.
is it just because it's green?
No, it's because the helmet looks like a bicycle helmet.
I mean, you're not wrong.
If it didn't have the helmet, it would be fine. At least it's not as bad as how Knuckles looks by the end of Sonic Adventure 2 with all the upgrades he gets. You know?
I get you.
I do love uh, villains that have understandable motives.
Yep.
Like, I can understand his desire to undo his biggest mistake. That is a perfectly reasonable goal that anyone would probably do if given the chance.
Indeed, I know that I spend a lot of time ruminating over my bad choices.
And but I also know, based, like, with general storytelling, that going back and changing the past usually results in an even worse outcome. In most medias, anyway.
Fair enough. Don't change the status quo.
No, no, it's not. It's less that and more.
Unexpected consequences. Flashpoint.
Well, I mean, the good Flashpoint, not the Ezra Miller Flashpoint, but more that you are who you are because of
Your choices.
your life experience, not your choices, but your life experiences, which is a very distinct difference.
So these are the characters based off high school jocks.
I
In case you're
see.
curious.
I see.
So one of the issues with like the Ratchet and Clank franchise is for the longest time, it never really had a character bible.
Really? Not
Yeah,
even a compendium?
not really.
Oh God, do you remember? So you know how most games nowadays that have like expansive lore-heavy worlds have some kind of compendium, right?
Yes, you're talking about Golem, aren't you?
Golem's compendium is locked behind DLC.
Yep.
It is something that should come as a default. Also, the better voice acting is locked behind DLC.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
And so are several emotes that are extremely overpriced and should just be in the base game. And, you know, like the Precious emote.
In which he says, "My precious."
I think so. I would assume so. You know, his most iconic line.
Ah, yes. From the movies.
And the book.
from the mobile screenshots.
You ever think about how the fact that the One Ring named itself Precious?
Oh yeah.
Because Golem wasn't the only one to call it Precious. That was actually one of the ways that Gandalf realized its nature, or
Mm.
one of the clues. I think in the books, Gandalf spent like 5 years looking up books to determine whether or not the ring was the One Ring, and the entire time it was just like sitting on Frodo's like sitting out in Frodo's fireplace mantle.
Mm. Bilbo Baggins, you mean?
No, Frodo's, because Bilbo had already left for Rivendell.
Ah, fair enough. I thought you said Riverdale for a moment, and I was thinking about the serial killer gene.
Oh, the fuck even was. God, Riverdale was such a garbage show.
I think it's still running.
It's still right. Does it still have Dylan Sprouse?
I would not be surprised if he is still in the show.
Was it Dylan or Cole?
I think it's Cole. No. You have to look it up. I don't know. I can't tell the brothers apart.
I can't either. I know that one of them had a Tumblr that ended up actually not being their Tumblr, but was real, but fooled a lot of people into thinking it was, or maybe he did have a Tumblr. I don't remember.
They were young, hot celebrities, so I would not be surprised if they had impersonators.
I wouldn't say they were hot.
Hot commodity, I
I
mean.
know what you mean. I was making a joke.
I don't know. Some might say they were attractive. But that's all like personal taste at that point.
Yeah.
I was today years old when I learned that Nicolas Cage had siblings. Imagine having to be the sibling of Nicolas Cage.
God. Yeah. I mean, it could be worse. You could be Tony Hawk's brother, Mike.
Mike Hawk.
Yeah.
You're hilarious.
It's a very hard joke to pull off.
I mean, it's up there with Ligma.
Uh, God, you remember when Elon fucking fired the it was like Iceland's top person,
Person of the year? Yeah.
yeah, person of the year, Iceland's person of the year, and when asked like what it does, and he was like, "Oh, it's actually really confidential." And I was like, "Oh, I talked to my legal team. You can say it. This is your permission to say." It. He was like, "Oh, I created Sigma." I was like, "Oh, now I know you're joking." And a bunch of programmers were like, "Actually, Sigma is a very important program for managing social medias." God.
I mean,
I
considering
think
it's
he's still
Elon
good.
Musk, I'm pretty sure anybody would have told him, "Oh, I invented Ligma."
God. And
I mean, it'd be more credible than whatever he's invented.
quote unquote invented.
Yeah, quote unquote.
Yeah, as in buying patents and saying he created them. He fucking fired the Twitter documentarians, the ones that are making that Netflix documentary, because they refused to name him as the founder in the documentary.
No, it was a TV series about the. It was sort of a historical drama.
Oh,
Um,
like
in the vein of the
Social
the
network.
social network sort of thing.
Okay. By the way, they refused to put him in as a founder.
Yes, that
Uh,
was his demand. He was like, "I want when you're making the movie, you have the TV series, you have to include me, and I have to be the fifth founder at the end of it, and I have to be played by like Bruce Willis or something."
oh my god. Thinking about just celebrity stuff. You remember Mark Wahlberg's comments about 9/11?
Ah, yes.
He said that at one point he said that if he was on the plane, 9/11 wouldn't have happened.
If he was part of Al Qaeda, 9/11 would have gone down way different.
They would have actually hit the White House instead of crashing in a field.
He would have taken out the Pentagon. It wouldn't be standing.
I mean, a plane did hit the Pentagon. It was the White House plane that didn't make it. There were 4 planes. 2 of them hit the towers. 1 hit the Pentagon, and 1 was headed to the White House. But the Al Qaeda members were overpowered by the pilots, who just uh, crashed into a field and sacrificed themselves to.
It
Yeah,
wasn't the
no.
pilots; it was the passengers.
Or the passengers. The people on board, they sacrificed themselves to not hit the White House.
I mean, it was Bush, so maybe it wasn't much of a sacrifice. That's my edgy joke for the evening. I apologize deeply.
It's so weird that the one that was going to kill Bush didn't make it out of all of them.
Yeah, it's almost like he knew about it in advance. Like he did
It's like
it.
he orchestrated it. But no, I don't think that Bush caused 9. Well, I mean, I don't think that Bush planned 9/11, but I do think he was aware of it and chose to do nothing.
He was
So that
aware of it. We know for a fact that he was
Yeah.
aware of like the risk factor and chose not to take any precautions.
Yeah, and also don't forget that after 9/11, Saddam Hussein like offered to give
Dang it.
Bush to give the American government the location of Osama bin Laden, uh, but Bush refused, because then if he accepted, then he wouldn't have reason to go deeper into the Middle East, because they were doing the Gulf War at the time, or they had just wrapped up the Gulf War, and so they needed a new excuse to go in the Middle East for that oil, and so that's why he refused to accept the location of Bin Laden that Saddam Hussein was offering. And also lied about Saddam having nuclear weapons.
Oof.
Yeah. American imperialism. It's pretty wild. And that's why you can't erase history. You know?
Yep.
Because these are important things to learn. Or important
It's
things
important to know your history. At least we'd be doomed to repeat it.
Exactly.
Zony, 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 zony.
If you don't learn this shit and you just continue believing the lie that America has never done anything wrong, that leads to blind patriotism, which is a pathway to fascism and imperialism. Like that is pretty much how the Nazi Party got secure. That's one of the ways that the Nazi Party secured power in Germany.
In Germany, yeah.
And that's why Germany nowadays acknowledges its how terrible its history was, because you know they don't want a repeat of it.
Do you know what I'm collecting?
Pieces of the Sky from Chicken Little.
No, I'm collecting Rhino 5 Hollow Plans.
Don't know what that is.
The Rhino means rip you a new one.
Ah.
It is the most powerful game in the weapon in the series.
Oh, so it's basically the game's BFG.
Yes. But it plays
the
music
BFG.
and fires missiles.
Fuck yeah. So it's even better.
Yeah, it's very cool. So where did I leave off in my Ratchet and Clank lore?
You finished up explaining what happened in 3.
Yes. So that brings us to the future series. Unless you're really interested in the spin-offs. Are you interested in the spin-offs?
Not really.
Okay, in Ratchet and Clank Size Matters, it's all a massive dick joke.
That's the one we're playing, right?
No.
Oh.
We're playing A Crack in Time, which is the 5th game. Or rather, the 5th major entry. So, Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction is the 4th game in the series. And with it, Emperor Tachyon finally chases Ratchet down to, I think it's Quartu? Oh no, it's Metropolis. He tracks Ratchet down to Metropolis, he kidnaps Quark, and he basically has his evil villain plan to annihilate all the Lombaxes by finding their secret weapon that they use to destroy the Kragmites.
Why did he kidnap Captain Quark?
Because Captain Quark is a useful fool and a bumbling idiot who is surprisingly useful to have on hand.
That's fair.
So what ends up happening is Tachyon discovers that the weapon the Lombaxes invented is not a genocide machine, but a relocation machine.
Ah.
What it does is it lets you take something and teleport it to a different dimension. It's called the Dimensionator.
I see. Does
And
he use it on himself to join the rest of his people?
no, he brings them back to the galaxy.
Alright.
Yeah, so Emperor Tachyon brings back the rest of the Kragmites, and Ratchet has to basically fight his way through them in order to get to Tachyon. Tachyon goes, but wait, I know where your people are. I will send you to them if you accept my offer. And Ratchet's like, no, I'm not accepting your offer. Nobody will be safe, especially not the Lombaxes, not the galaxy. Nowhere will be safe if you're allowed to do as you wish. So they end up defeating Tachyon, and he ends it with a dramatic, I am the only one who knows your destiny. I am the only one who knows your true name. That never comes back up, by the way.
Valid. Because what his quote-unquote true name is probably does not matter. He's Ratchet. That is the identity he's forged for himself, you know?
And, like, if he's the only one who knows it, then, like, of course nobody else is going to ask about it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, do you know your true name? Oh, only that Tachyon person knew. Well, he's gone. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Also, Asimov probably knows.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't?
He would be using it if he knew.
I see. Well, that's a really missed opportunity then to call back to that.
Well, you see, the problem is, during the development of the fourth game, they had to rewrite the entire story.
Oh, geez. What
This,
happened?
apparently, what happened is they had a story, and then it vanished, and nobody remembered what it
Vanished.
was. So they had to hire on a new writer to make one
What?
up.
Can we circle back? What do you mean it vanished?
It vanished. I'm pretty sure
What?
that's like code for the writer stole it and we couldn't find him.
Okay, so somebody pulled a food fight.
I suppose. I don't remember the details, and it's been a while, so.
In food fight, somebody stole all the footage, so they had to start from scratch.
I mean, thank goodness they did.
I would love to have known what the original footage looked like.
I have seen it. It's not that great, but
I
it's
mean,
much
to be
better.
fair, it's better than. Oh man.
So I have seen it because they made a trailer for it that they ended up that's sort of lost media now.
Oh man.
But there was a trailer made, and I have seen that trailer, so I can tell you, it still wasn't all that great, but it was much better.
I wasn't expecting it to be great. I'm just curious. I love seeing like early test footage for shows and stuff. Have you ever seen like the test pilot for Amazing World of Gumball?
I have not.
Uh,
But I have seen some of the original test designs for Spyro.
yeah, he was green at one point, but they changed it to purple because it blended too well into the grass.
I've also seen the original designs for Ratchet. Ah, fuck!
Didn't the artist add stripes out of spite? Like they were ordered to in the or shit. Wasn't there like something like some kind of conflict when it came to the stripes?
Yes, so I know this story. When the game was originally being made, Ratchet was originally a little green reptile man. But they ended up changing that pretty quickly. So by a certain point, they had already decided he was going to be a cat person, and by the time like that decision was finalized, fuck. And by the time that was finalized, they brought the design to Sony, and Sony's like, "We love the design, just one thing. He needs a bit more to the design. Can you give him stripes on his ears?" And according to Ted Price, the founder of Insomniac, he hated the idea mostly on principle because by that point they'd gone through like 5 dozen different designs, and he was really sick of changing stuff. So he hated it, and he's like, "We're not changing it, not over my dead body, etc., etc."
I'm looking at the concept art for the early Ratchet design. He looks like alien hominid.
A bit, yeah. So anyway, he says no. Sony is sad, and they go back home, and then one of their concept artists is like, "I'm actually gonna give it a go," and he slaps on the ears, and everybody agrees it's so much better that way.
I see.
This is very tense, by the way.
You did it, Ratchet. Well done. Come on. The obsidian eye is right this way.
Let's see. So you haven't asked what I'm doing.
I mean, you're looking for the obsidian eye.
No, but what am I doing with this thing?
Uh, it's a
It's called
water
the Hydro
gun.
Displacer.
Yeah, it's a water gun. It's a super soaker.
You think so, but it can be anything I want as long as it's liquid. It can be oil. It can be honey. It can be water. It's water right now because I need it for water stuff. But it was honey earlier, and that's what the alien guys were chasing. The teramites. How cool is that? I got like a water gun that's like that can be any kind of liquid. So anyway, yeah, now we're on the 5th game. There was
Which
a
is
4th
this
game
one.
called Quest for Booty, but we don't talk about that.
Stand by for system uplink.
Ratchet, how did you find me? You kidding me? You think I'd leave my best pal out here alone? Who is that behind you? Is that a Lombax? Yeah, this is General Azimuth. He's been helping me look for you. Just send me your coordinates and we'll pick you up.
Signal integrity 33%.
Ratchet, I need your
Just
help. Orvis is in trouble.
You must go to Xanathar and confront Dr. Nefarious.
Xanathar? Dr. Nefarious hasn't set foot on that rock since his station was completed 2 years ago.
Then that is when you must confront him. Head to the Tomley outpost and look for a time portal. Please save my father. Father? What's going on? You cannot hide in the broom closet forever, Sigmund. Orvis needs our help. Now, can you synthesize a time portal on Xanathar? I suppose I could use the oscilloscopic entanglement modulator to create a vacuum of negative energy, theoretically creating a traversable wormhole.
Time rift stabilized.
Ta-da!
Oh, what does this mean?
that means we're gonna go back in time and save Clank's dad and not Ratchet's dad.
Probably not a good sign of things to come, but take that as you
Yeah.
will.
We were told to. I bet Asimov's gonna have a lot of resentment that it's okay to save Clank's dad but not Ratchet's dad.
All right, so I think we're in wrap up.
Yeah.
We're 2 hours,
Sorry,
7
I
minutes
did not-
in.
I did not mean to sound so excited. I'm just tired.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, there's a lot of stuff you can watch on the channel. I am playing Dark Souls and Mario Galaxy. You know, Mario Galaxy, the first game that had spherical worlds.
No, it didn't.
I know.
Don't even joke about that.
I did joke about it in Mario Galaxy. But I did also lampshade the fact that Ratchet and Clank did it first.
You will never have met him in the first place. The clock may offer some kind of temporal immunity for those who use it, but well, there are no guarantees.
This is my only chance to save my family. I have to take it.
Good. Now don't be alarmed, but I just picked up Forcelon's signature not far from our location. I'll distract him while you head to the outpost. And remember, if Orvis is alive, it's imperative that you get the clock's location from him. Good luck.
Yep, that's our stakes.
Yep, we need to save Clank's dad in order to save Ratchet's dad.
Yep, in order to save the family.
I had a thought.
Change
So
history forever.
they said, or not, they did say that by the time he arrived, Ratchet's mom was already gone. What if the reason she was gone was because she was pulled into a time portal into the present?
Oh, you're thinking in 4 dimensions here.
Of course I am. I love stable time loops.
Oh.
All right. So yeah, there's stuff. I am playing Dark Souls, and I am also playing Mario Galaxy. Also on the channel, there's Tabletop Thursdays, in which me and a couple friends play Tabletop Simulator.
All right.
Yeah. Common challenge of the day. If you could go back in time, what method would it be? Like, would it be traveling through time? Would it be having your consciousness put into the
I'd use a
body?
TARDIS.
Uh,
It's
would it be
it's the sports car time travel.
really? I thought the DeLorean was the sports car of time travel.
No, that's a DeLorean. The TARDIS is the sports car of time travel.
So your method would be actually physically traveling through time.
Yeah, why not?
Mine would be I honestly am a big fan of having your consciousness put like being transported back, like butterfly effect, for
Ah,
example,
that
or
movie. I haven't heard
Days of
anybody
Future,
talk about that movie in ages.
or X-Men Days of Future Past.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, I think consciousness time travel is a lot more of an interesting idea than physically going to the past.
Fun fact, this game has like a customization option, but like the problem is
It's dog shit.
no. It's how do I say this?
Limited.
It's unnecessary since there's no multiplayer or online component.
Uh, Alright. Well, anywho, with that out of the way, there's nothing left to say but good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.